Ratu Kalinyamat, the Queen of Jepara, a Senhora Poderosa e Rica. We want to outline historical events regarding Queen Kalinyamat, who became a female ruler in Jepara in 1549-1579, based on the coherent principle theory of trust. The facts about Ratu Kalinyamat that have been linked can support a research that the power and the magnificence of Ratu Kalinyamat are endowed. So we have to pursue the sources, Indonesian from Far East, East Asia, but also European, Portuguese in this case, for example. Furthermore, confronting, for example, with some classics like the Graph and Pijot. In advance, we can state that Ratu Kencana was a powerful woman. According to the Portuguese sources, the whole of the sources, she was an essential power in Java and the archipel in her period. In second, she was feared in Java and the surrounding seas and islands, and by Islamic powers in the Indian Ocean also. Ratu Kencana was famous and considered, very well considered, from Gujarat to Aceh and the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea, in all the Islamic powers in Asia. Her strategic vision was essential, revealed in the attacks on Malacca, sieged and ruled by Portuguese. In addition to being a prudent and diplomatic stateswoman, she was tall, strong, having been called upon to establish military and political alliances. Her power and influence were decisive in governing a prosperous region based on the rice production and exportation. Jepara was a major rice exporter and essential in the cloth trade between Moluccas and Malacca and the commercial networks in the Indian Ocean. She was feared, respected by the Western people, mainly the Portuguese, for example, in the support she gave to the various sieges in Malacca and her intervention in the Moluccas against the Portuguese presence. She was decisive despite the defeats. She knew that the city of the Straits, Malacca, was central to Java and the commerce and wealth of Jepara. So she bet a lot on the expulsion of the Portuguese. Furthermore, a role is decisive, he was decisive in the spread of Islam, also in Java, and the whole of the several thousand islands of the archipelago, in establishing networks that had as a common link faith in the precepts revealed by the Prophet in the name of Allah. It spurred the expansion of the Islamic faith. She was a great supporter in which she was really decisive. From Portuguese sources and studies that have been produced from these Islamic sources, it can be said that Ratu Kencana embodies the first strong Islamic leadership in Java, a woman. Besides being vigorously anti-colonial and having defended his kingdom's independence and the economic activity that supported it. In her strategic vision, she is a heroic figure, clairvoyant and with a great anticipation, capable of weaving international alliances and organizing military and naval forces capable of shaking Western powers. Ratu Kinkana sensed in anticipation the danger of the advance of the Western powers, colonial powers, in what is now Indonesia, having done everything to prevent this future inevitable colonial presence, unavoidable, unfortunately. Therefore, it is fair to consider a national heroine and a fierce fighter against Western colonialism in the archipelago, and deserving of respect, fear, deserving reverence in Java and in the Islamic world. Then it would be a weakening of Jepara, accentuated in 1579 with the death of Ratan Kankana. Jepara was so weakened and without reliable power that Jepara would eventually be conquered in 1599 by Mataram. Ratu Kankana was a Javanese woman of the 16th century. She emerged out of a war of succession over Java's first great Muslim empire to become the queen of the prosperous city of Jepara. In a glance of her life, governing in her own right, during the third quarter of the century, she was a vital ally of the king of Central Java, Adiwijaya. Queen Kalinyamat was described as an able and brave leader. Portuguese historical record, Décadas da Ásia, Asian Decades, written by Diogo do Couto, praised Queen Kalinyamat as Senhora Rainha de Jepara, Our Majesty the Queen of Jepara, poderosa e rica, powerful and wealthy, a rich woman and with a great power. Her reign was marked by her overseas campaigns in 1550 and 1574, precisely against the Portuguese in Malacca. And not only in Malacca. Kalinyamat was one of the earliest anti-colonial fighters in Indonesia, in the Southeast Asia, launching many warships against the enemies, the Portuguese of Malacca. Under her leadership, Jepara engaged in strategic alliances with the rulers of Johor in the Malay Peninsula, Aceh in Sumatra, Banten and Cirebon in Western Java, and Itu in Ambon. She was an authentic anti-colonial fighter. We can state she was the first in East Asia. Well, three main ideas from a Portuguese perspective. The Queen of Jepara, she was a powerful sovereign, a feared woman based on the wealth of the production and exports of her kingdom, with an influence extended to the Mac also an excellent cereal region. The exports essentially went to Malacca, which the Portuguese conquered in 1511. Whoever dominates Malacca dominates all East Asia, stated many geostrategic men of the era. And the Queen of Jepara, she was really attempt to this principle. If the Portuguese held Malacca, they could control Moluccas and the cloth trade, very profitable. The Moluccas had been hard fought by the Portuguese and had to be maintained. Ternate Sidore, the sandalwood trade in Timor and Flores, and the spices of the Sulawesi. In second, Ratu Kencana was essential in the spreading of Islam in Java and in the whole of the islands of Indonesia. From Jepara and the Pasisir, after reinforcing alliances with Johor and Aceh, since 1522, Portuguese establishments were attacked from Hormuz in Persia, Iran, to Malacca by Islamic alliances in which Jepara will play an increasingly important role. The Queen will impose Islam in Java, as we said, diminishing or nullifying Hinduism in the region. Java becomes a significant regional power with its action. In the time of Queen Kalinyamat, we have to remember that the Catholic missions increased in Indonesia when Islam was also being implanted. Well, with the supervision, with a complete domination of the Islam, as we know. Ratu Kencana had a clear strategic notion, very advanced indeed. She attacked Malacca and made alliances with other sultanates and Islamic powers in the Indian Ocean. However, it did not have artillery and firearms in order to attack successfully the Portuguese. Third point, Malacca occupied a strategic position, as we know, on the trade routes between Southeast Asia and the Indian Ocean from here to Europe. The Portuguese, they had cannons, shotguns, solid fortresses, and a more powerful navy. Javanese and Malays did not. Well, in their weapons, they fought with bamboo weapons many times and less firepower. Even so, we can to remind that the Queen of Jepara, a feared woman who knew how to insert herself in the commercial dynamics of her time and strategically ally herself with the Islamic powers of the Indian Ocean, even threatened by the Portuguese, she never gave up. And we have so much to review and discover about the role of the Queen in this complete network. To conclude, the energetic career of Queen Kalinyamat reveals some essential facts about gender, about religion and power, woman power in this period of Southeast Asian history. First, it shows that observant Muslim states did not forbid royal women from ruling in their own right. Indeed, women were among the most influential leaders of the period. As Shah's succession of four queens between 1641 and 1699 is another excellent example of this, the paradigm of the Queen of Kalinyamat was revealed lately in Aceh. Second, it shows how military opposition to the Portuguese was based on the common self-interest of the Muslim trading states. Japanese, Malays, Ambonese, and Chinese worked together to expel the Portuguese, to regain Muslim control of the lucrative inter-island trading network. The rhetoric of religious and national liberation, which was so important to 19th and 20th century anti-colonialism, was largely absent from these 16th century conflicts. Despite being beaten several times, the Portuguese had great respect for Queen Kalinyamat, a senhora poderosa e rica, the rich woman, the rich lady with a so great power, a powerful woman, a brave woman. Ratu Jepar Wanita Kaya Den Berkuasa Wanita Pemberani. From her courageous and unyielding attitude, the Portuguese call Queen Kalinyamat as a brave woman, the Kranich Dam in Netherlands. The period of Kalinyamat's rule, which ended at her death sometime after 1574, was without any doubt the high point of Japar's political and economic influence in the region. The energetic career of the Queen Kalinyamat reveals some crucial facts about gender, religion, and power in this period of Southeast Asian history and the role of the women in the whole of these processes. Thank you so much.